Illustrated cover at just 17 years old has not disappointed, still playing at an elite level as he's about to enter his 24th professional season. LeBron has earned 4 NBA titles, 4 Finals MVPs, 4 league MVPs, 21 All-Star appearances, and recently passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the NBA's all-time leading scorer. Consistent greatness and longevity, Chris, it's clear why the CBS NBA staff has LeBron at #1.
Nobody has come in with more hype as an NBA player and actually exceeded the hype, right? It was astronomical, and somehow he's been able to compete at this highest level for so long and win in every team, or every destination, I should say, that he's been on. Incredible career for LeBron. Now, when you talk about issues with this list, how is Kobe Bryant not past Shaquille O'Neal? I mean, he got not 1 but 2 championships without Shaq, and he also played at a higher level longer than Shaquille O'Neal, and he did it both ways more consistently.
It is harder for big men to succeed for a longer period of time in this league. I would switch the Kevins, though. Kevin Garnett, league MVP while with Minnesota before the Timberwolves were consistently a threat in the West. Plus, Steve Nash, a consistently underappreciated talent at point guard. I mean, this man is the only player in the history of the association to have more than 2 50-40-90 seasons. That's 50% from the field, 40% from the 3, and 90% from the free throw line. Nash did it 4 times. Nobody else in the league history has done it more than twice. Show some respect.
Put some respect on Steve Nash's name, one of the most exciting point guards that we've ever seen. And for the full breakdown of the top 25 players of the 21st century, make sure to head to cbssports.com for all of the breakdowns.
Here we go. The 2025 season.
I think I like sports now.
No way. The gecko was just spotted down the street.
I've always wanted to meet him. Ever since Geico's 24/7 emergency roadside service got us out of a jam.
Sounds like you got more than just savings, my dudes.
So do we know you?
Oh, I'm just a stranger who loves friendly service and American football.
Okay. Something to drink?
Oh, yes, spot of tea be lovely. And a root beer with lots of ice.
You know, you kind of look like someone.
Get more than just savings. Get more with Geico.
My cousin Daryl.
Oh, he does look like Daryl.
Big day, everybody. That's the spirit. We're having lots of fun. What's going on? Oh, the Homes.com network just hit 100 million visitors. So we're throwing a party now that we're the go-to site for home shoppers.
You don't think this is a little over the top?
Over the top. It's 100 million, Marcy. That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, we get that every month.
Excuse me?
What are you gonna do, throw a party every month?
Party every month, everybody! I don't know how to change the song on this. Homes.com, the place to find a place.
Safe like repair, safe like replace.
Sometimes things fall right into place, but other times they just fall.
No.
What was that?
But at least you can get it fixed now and pay later in 4 interest-free payments at safelight.com.
Awesome.
And SafeLight can come to you for free, anytime, anywhere, and do everything you need to get back on the road.
All set. Here you go.
Thank you.
Take care.
Get it fixed now and pay later at safelight.com.
Safe like repair, safe like replace.
When I was super young, I was like, you get paid to play soccer? Why doesn't everyone do that? But you realize everything that it entails.
The mental toll.
The sacrifices.
His lifestyle is solitary.
I turned into public enemy #1 out of nothing.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Milan is one of the biggest teams in the entire world.
It was a horror show of a season for AC Milan, but Christian was one of its bright spots.
Let's go!
You don't choose which games you play for the national team.
Oh my gosh, what a big story.
There's no story.
Everyone forgot what I've done for this team. It just fuels me to get back on the field, play in a World Cup, and just shut everyone up.
Christian's a superstar.
He's found the right balance to enjoy life.
What a weekend. I want to create a legacy that people can say, this guy changed American soccer.
The Micah Parsons hold-in continues in Dallas. Parsons tweeted a multi-page notes app goodbye to Dallas back on August 1st as contract negotiations seem to have stalled between the Cowboys and the top-tier pass rusher. But in the nearly 3 weeks since, it seems not much has changed as Parsons remains on the sideline.
Does it make it harder to scheme a game plan, though, as a head coach without one of your top players?
No, because I think at the end of the day, we feel like Mike is going to be out there when we can line up against Philadelphia here in 15 days or whatever it is. And, so, no, the answer is, yeah, I feel good about that, yeah.
Without a contract extension?
I feel good that Mike is going to be out there against the Philadelphia Eagles.
For more, welcoming in CBS Sports NFL analyst Ryan Wilson and NFL writer John Breach. Ryan, we just heard from Cowboys head coach Brian Schottenheimer. What makes Schottenheimer so confident here?
Maybe Jerry told him a little something. Good to see you, Madeline. Good to see you, Breach. And I think the important thing to come back to, and we've talked about this a lot since August 1st. I can't believe that's when Micah wrote that, put that on social media. A lot of this is about Jerry just bringing attention to the Cowboys. In his mind, there's no such thing as bad publicity. So we're still talking about this. I think the other side of that coin is that you're angering your best player, or one of your best players, Micah Parsons, who's only 25 years old. And not only that, and Breach and I have talked about this a bunch as well, you're dragging your feet where you're going to have to pay him more than you're paying the other highest paid guy. Currently, T.J. Watt makes $41 million. Micah's going to get north of that. We saw that play out with CeeDee Lamb in the wide receiver salary, Dak Prescott in the quarterback salary. And the other thing is Brian Schottenheimer might just be saying this to have people could ask him about it because he has no control over what Jerry and Micah ultimately decide to do, and he would perhaps like to think about other things. That said, I'm sure he understands the very important need to have Micah out there because this defense is battling injuries in preseason, and Dak Prescott has struggled to stay healthy in recent years, even though they have CD under contract and they got George Pickens. So there's a lot to sort through, and they're in the same division as not only the defending Super Bowl champs, but also the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, Wilson, you just mentioned that Jerry Jones believes that there's no such thing as bad publicity, which is probably true. But you know what might qualify as bad publicity? If the Cowboys go out and lose 49-14 in week 1. And that might happen if Micah Parsons isn't out there, or if he is out there. Let's say a contract doesn't get done till next week and Parsons has only 3 or 4 practices to get ready for that opener. He's not going to be in football shape. There's no way, even if he signs a contract tomorrow, he's probably not going to be in football shape for that opener. So you're talking about your best defender kind of playing a step slower than he's used to against the defending Super Bowl champions who are going to be raising a banner and looking to beat the Cowboys by 3 touchdowns. So Jerry Jones, even if he's trying to get all this, drum up all this publicity for the team, this puts the Cowboys behind the 8 ball because he's taken so long to get this contract done. So it's an interesting situation. If Brian Schottenheimer's confident, this is either one of those, I don't even care. This is Jerry's drama. I'm just going to say whatever I want because I know I'm not going to get fired and everything's already working against me. It's a bizarre situation, to say the least. But if Brian Schottenheimer's confident he'll be out there, then I am too.
Well, and as you guys mentioned, if Jerry loves the drama, I mean, the Cowboys open their season on primetime Thursday night football against, as you mentioned, Breach, the defending Super Bowl champion Eagles. If he's not out there, if Parsons isn't out there, that could be a lot of drama coming out of that one. As we turn our attention, though, earlier this month, Myles Garrett received a speeding ticket for going 100 miles per hour in a 60-mile-per-hour zone. Now, that was his 8th speeding ticket since he was drafted by the Browns in 2017. Cleveland just signed Garrett to a $204.8 million extension over 4 years. But Breach, what is this lack of accountability that we've heard from Garrett and his off-the-field actions say about his leadership role within the team?
Well, when you have more speeding tickets than your team had wins last season, I think that's a giant red flag about just what's going on in the organization. I mean, we saw Shedeur Sanders get a couple speeding tickets back in June, and not to bring him into it, but it just seems like it's an overall thing. If you want someone like Myles Garrett, who is one of the best defensive players in the NFL, if not the best defensive player, he's great to have on your team, but he's not setting a great example for the younger players coming in. I mean, look, everybody's got a speeding ticket, maybe 2 speeding tickets in their life, but 8, that's where you just sit down and maybe put your driver's license and leave it at home and just say, you know, I'm going to Uber a couple times so I can figure out how to stay under the speed limit. So, yeah, I think it definitely says a little bit about his leadership, but he goes out there and he produces every week, and I think that speaks more volumes. It's really, Myles Garrett's speeding tickets aren't what is making the Browns bad. It's a bunch of other things. The organization has been a disaster for the past few weeks, the past few years. So it's just a team that needs an all-around reboot.
Listen, I went down a rabbit hole of the Ohio Bureau of Motor Vehicles. It's 2 to 4 points on your license every speeding ticket. So if you get 12 points over the course of 2 years, you get a license suspension for 6 months. Not something we want to see Garrett encounter. Here was him talking about this situation earlier Wednesday.
Well, Myles, we have not talked to you since your last speeding incident. What is it like to be in that car and seeing that speedometer creep up toward 100 miles an hour?
I'd honestly rather talk about football and this team than anything I'm doing off field other than the back to school, event that I did the other day.
But still, I mean, people want to know about that.
People want to know a lot of things, but I try to keep my personal life personal, and I'd rather focus on this team when I can.
You talk about being a leader. So what kind of a leadership does that show when you get pulled over by the cops?
Again, you're asking the same question, and I've answered it 2 different times. So I'm gonna need you to ask a different question so I can focus on this team and not this headline you're trying to get out of this question you're asking.
That's Myles Garrett attempting to deflect. Ryan, what is your impression of this response?
Shout out to the reporter for continuing to ask the question in different ways. And shout out to Myles Garrett for not getting extremely angry, because you sort of felt the tension rise as that conversation went on. But I think the larger point is the one that Breach is making. If you're going to be the face of a franchise and you're going to sign that new huge deal that you have earned, the only reason you should be driving 100 miles an hour is if, in fact, you are leaving Cleveland for the last time and not coming back. And under no circumstances should you have 8 tickets. And look, I get it. It's easy for me to say as someone who is not in their 20s or early 30s and has access to hundreds of millions of dollars to buy any car I want. But there's also other people on the road that you have to take in mind, and you have to be careful. You don't want a situation where someone gets hurt, right? So there's a lot of things to sort of think about as you go through this. Myles, by all accounts, is a great teammate. He does a lot in the community. But this is just unforced errors that seem to plague this team. Breach brought in Shador's name. I'm sure Shador's pumped about that, but Breach isn't wrong. He had 2 tickets since arriving this summer. So the little things you can avoid, I would recommend this. Dylan Gabriel was known for a lot of things at Oregon, including being a great quarterback. He also drove a minivan, and he would take his teammates to practice. Get in the minivan with Dylan. If that thing goes 100, let him go 100. If that thing ain't going over 65, everyone gets to practice safely. Problem solved.
Hey, if you're opening up a minivan on the interstate, then more power to you. More power to you for going that fast. As we turn our attention to some injury concerns leading up to the NFL season, more concern for the Vikings wide receiver room. Ty Felton left practice early Wednesday with a reported arm injury. Jordan Addison also reportedly finished Wednesday's practice on the sidelines. And when you consider that, Addison's also suspended for the first 3 games of the season, Rondale Moore out for the year with a knee injury, that position group could really use some help. And the Vikings reportedly are in the market for a wideout as the injuries continue to pile up in that wide receiver room. So, Ryan, who would be a good fit for Minnesota to target here?
Yeah, this is a tough stretch for J.J. McCarthy. He's going to be the starter going into year 2. Didn't play last year because of that knee injury, of course. He and Jordan Addison had a lot of connections on the same page in their preseason play together, but you just pointed out all these guys that are going to be missing either because of injury, suspension, or Justin Jefferson coming back from the hammies. So some names to keep an eye on. I love the idea of Breach of Adam Thielen reunion. I think he makes the team in Carolina. It would make all the sense in the world, but that group is suddenly so deep in Charlotte that maybe he would be expendable if they wanted to move off the team to get a draft pick in exchange. Another name, Kendrick Bourne, makes some sense out of New England. He's a veteran receiver who's been around. He can probably come into a system and get acclimated pretty quickly. And a little wild card here, Alec Pierce for the Colts. He has an opportunity. He's in a last year's rookie deal. He's going to be looking to make some money. So he'll have an opportunity to prove himself this season, whether it's in Indianapolis or elsewhere. I don't know if that's going to be a sure thing. Here he is making this great catch when Anthony Richardson was still the quarterback. But the concern is that with Daniel Jones now the QB, maybe Alec Pierce is more of a long shot because they have a lot of weapons in Indy, and Daniel Jones needs all the help he can get. But that could be something to keep in mind as potential long odds if you're looking to play that game and coming out and helping out this Vikings team while these guys get healthy.
Wilson, I had 5 names. You used one of them, Adam Thielen. I think that was a great call. Send him back to Minnesota. He could definitely be a role player there. It really depends what the Vikings want to do. Do they want to make a trade? Do they want to go out and sign someone in free agency? If they go the free agency route, Amari Cooper is out there. So he's someone you could possibly call up, bring him in, and then once Jordan Addison is back, now you have Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and Amari Cooper. Gabe Davis is out there. He's been making some visits this week, looking to possibly sign a contract in the very near future. Maybe the Vikings need to give him a call. If they go a trade route, you mentioned Alec Pierce. I'm going to mention someone that played on Monday night in the Bengals-Commanders game. We saw Mitchell Tinsley, the Bengals receiver, go off with 2 incredible touchdown catches. The Bengals have a very stacked roster when it comes to their receiving room, so I'm sure if the Vikings made the right offer, the Bengals might be willing to give up Tinsley. And then there is Juwan Jennings. Maybe call the 49ers. Those two sides have been kind of butting heads about contract issues this offseason. So maybe if the 49ers are thinking, you know what, we're not going to get a deal done here, we can ship Juwan off to Minnesota, and that might cost a little bit more. But if the Vikings are looking for a big name, that might be somebody they ask about.
Hey, the Vikings are one of 32 rosters that are going to continue to take shape as we wind down the preseason and get ready for the 2025 NFL season. John Breach, Ryan Wilson, thanks so much for the insight. Week 3, the final week of the NFL preseason, kicks off on Thursday. You've got the Steelers at the Panthers, 7 Eastern on NFL Network, and the Patriots taking on the Giants, 8 Eastern. That one's on Prime Video. One final outing for players to earn a roster spot in the National Football League.
Here we go. The 2020.
People who say less is more have never experienced space, versatility, and capability like this. Make the most of every hour. The all-new 2025 Ford Expedition.
Chase something. More than just a flag. Chase a goal. Chase something. Chase rings. Chase gold.
Chase me. Nah, chase me.
Chase all of it. It's all up for grabs now. NFL flag. Chase something.
The clock never stops. Relive the greatest moments with uninterrupted highlights and more.
It's Gareth Bale! Ronaldo! Wonderful goal!
On the UEFA Champions League channel. Streaming free.
They're underway, and there's some massive clash at City A. Superb finish.
Unbelievable strike.
And that's surely the score that's on it.
Watch Serie A all season long, streaming on Paramount Plus.
This
And the ball is in the net.
is the heartbeat of English soccer. Fans with undying loyalty and iconic owners with premier-level dreams. Where one season decides who rises and who falls. The EFL on CBS Sports Network and streaming on Paramount Plus.
At CBS Sports Golazo Network, we're bringing you the game.
Madness of Messi arrives!
Breaking down the game.
This is unlike anything else in the world.
And changing the game.
Get it all for nil.
That means free.
Whoa.
And all day long!
24/7.
It's the Big Three Championship.
Beasley and the 305 take on Harold and the triplets for the chip. Sunday on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus.
It's gonna be a good day.
Andy Samberg is back as Rip Digman.
We are in rare air, my friend.
And he's bringing some friends with him, like Mitra Johari, Tim Robinson, Dale Soul, Gus Kahn, Tim Meadows.
Amazing.
Plus Seth Meyers, Amy Sedaris, Mark Hamill, Kate Winslet, Jeffrey Wright, Fred Armisen, Geraldine Viswanathan, Stephanie Beatrice, Kevin Novak, Tatiana Maslany, Tom Kent, Melissa Fumero, Beck Bett, John White, Nathan Lane, and
The list goes on and on.
Digman. All new episodes Wednesdays at 10:30 on Comedy Central.
There's a new champion in the UFC middleweight division. Khamzat Chimaev claimed the belt during UFC's 319's main event Saturday night, handing Dricus du Plessis his first loss in the UFC by way of unanimous decision. Chimaev wasn't necessarily flashy, but was no doubt dominant. 21 minutes and 40 seconds of control time over the 5 rounds, while du Plessis managed to land just one significant strike the entire fight. Time now to welcome in CBS Sports combat analyst Brian Campbell, who just dropped his latest UFC pound-for-pound rankings on CBSSports.com. BC, you have Chimaev up to the number 4 spot. What did his win at UFC 319 tell you in the rest of the middleweight division?
Well, it told us all that when a healthy Khamzat Chimaev steps in there with no issues holding him back, boy, is he a problem for everybody at 185 pounds. Maybe it really was the lack of ground game from somebody we thought was a well-rounded champion in du Plessis that produced such a one-sided performance. But whether you thought what Chimaev did was boring or not, it was absolutely dominant. He faced a fighter who had a better gas tank than him and yet completely took that away from him. He's not only sending a message to middleweight, where he has a deep group of contenders after him, but remember the words he said during fight week. He thinks he can be a 3-division champion in UFC, wants to cut back down to welterweight, wants to move up to 205 pounds, but for now, he's the best middleweight in the world, and this was that breakthrough victory his resume needed to truly get that pound-for-pound consideration within the top 5.
Yeah, a lot of momentum on his side. Now, as we look ahead to UFC 320, the main card features 2 of your top 10 fighters, both looking to defend their titles. In the co-main event, Merab Dvalishvili is a heavy favorite to retain the bantamweight belt for a 3rd time, facing top contender Corey Sandhagen. And the main event features a rematch from UFC 313 for Magomed Ankalaev defeated Alex Poatan Pereira to win the light heavyweight crown. In BC, Ankalaev is number 7 in your current pound-for-pound rankings. He made Pereira look mortal in their first fight, taking him the distance and winning by unanimous decision. What will you be looking for exactly from the reigning champ this time around?
Well, I want to see, like everyone else, if he can do it again, but how about a little asterisk on that? If he can do it this time against a healthy Pereira. Look, Poatan has been the most important fighter for the UFC in recent years from a star standpoint. He'll take fights on the last minute. It doesn't matter if he's injured or not. Even though Ankalaev had his true breakthrough victory in what amounted to his 2nd shot at the light heavyweight title, it did come out after the fact, not necessarily directly from Pereira, but the fact that Poatan had a broken hand coming in and he was suffering from neurovirus. Now, in the end, we all thought Ankalaev would wrestle Pereira, but as you can see there, the incredible stats, Pereira stuffed all 12 takedowns. What truly made it a breakthrough win from Ankalaev was the technical control and the striking, the pressure he put on Pereira, and the amount of control time he had in the clinch along the cage. If he has a healthy Poatan this time around, you have to expect he's going to get more pushback, and this will be a much closer and interesting fight, matching the power of Pereira against the technique and precision of Ankalaev. I love this rematch. I think you certainly have to look out for Pereira's chances, but it does give Ankalaev a 2nd chance to continue to cement himself as one of the most skilled, best fighters in this game.
And the way you set it up there, it should make for a much more entertaining matchup, right, for our viewers as they look to see both players or both fighters healthy 100%. Now, Merab Dvalishvili, BC, number 3 in your rankings, and he's really looked the part during a dominant run in the bantamweight division. How has he been able to become an ascending talent in the UFC at the age of 34?
Yeah, it's all come together to him at the right time, and it's been his absolute relentlessness. Look, this man spams takedown attempts like we've never seen. In fact, he broke George St. Pierre's UFC record for the most takedowns acquired. Yes, it's his wrestling that is his calling card, but it's the relentlessness of his cardio that simply wears down his opponents. Don't forget 2 fights ago when he took on unbeaten Umar Nurmagomedov when he came in as the underdog as champion. That was a fight where Nurmagomedov showed that he was the more skilled fighter, but down the stretch, it was the relentlessness, the gas tank of Dvalishvili that got it done. Look, he's not the best striker in the world. He's not known as a finisher, but he can do everything pretty darn well, and he just outworks you. And when you talk about relentlessness, it's not just his activity in the cage, it's his activity walking to the cage. This will be his third fight of 2025, and what he's looking to do to close this year is get one more fight after Sanhagen to try to become the first UFC champion with 4 title defenses in a single calendar year. He has found his prime at just the right time, and it's not about are you more skilled than him. You're going to have to outwork that guy to get the W.
It should make for exciting action. Brian Campbell, thanks so much as always. We appreciate the time. And here's a look at BC's full pound-for-pound rankings. You can read his breakdown on each fighter and see his women's UFC rankings right now on CBSSports.com.
Here we go. The 2025 CBS.
Ready-to-eat meal delivery services are not created equal. At Factor, it's personal. Everything is done from scratch every single day. Nutrition and flavor is first and foremost when we create any dish.
Sign up for Factor today and get 50% off your first box at factormeals.com.
Still a chance here. It's Willingham. Into the box. Willingham shoots. Goal! That was magic. Willingham tucks it in and puts the championship to bed. Sweet dreams. Nice.
As long as soccer players celebrate with a slide, you can count on Geico. Car insurance made easy with 24/7 claim service.
Pressure. What pressure? The players on the...
If you know luxury, it's not just award-winning, it's rewarding. Sattva Mattresses supports all types of sleepers. Luxury is handcrafted and assembled in American factories and brought directly to you with our complimentary in-home delivery and setup service. Which is why over 90% of customers would recommend Sattva to friends and family. Sattva, luxury mattresses made affordable.
Since the dawn of Manscaped, men have overshared. Like peacocks.
That's a weird one.
Too proud of their feathers.
Oh, he trims.
But it's a new day.
I'm having this feeling of, like, not offended? What is that?
That's a phase.
Oh.
Because now there are tools to shave a new part. Send face pics instead. Manscaped.
What are you doing up there?
Oh, I'm just posting the number of visitors to the Homes.com network this month. It's become the go-to home shopping site.
Got another 14,000.
What?
Gotta go back up.
Homes.com, the place to find a place.
I'm ready! Paramount Plus has a mountain of entertainment for the whole home. From your favorite scenes as if to your favorite teams. Touchdown! Across every screen. So if you want something new, vámonos. Something loved,
go!
And something to stream together. Where do we go to next? Find it all on Paramount Plus. Stream now.
Tonight's the night. What do you think?
Stream every Dexter episode ever, exclusively on Paramount Plus.
They're underway in this massive clash at City.